Hi, my name's Candace Cherry, and I teach kindergarten here at Saltillo Primary School. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about something called phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate individual sounds in spoken words. So phonemic awareness is not dealing with the actual printed word or letter. It's dealing with hearing those individual sounds in a word and being able to manipulate those sounds. Phonemic awareness is so important and is one of the main building blocks in learning how to read and spell. And research has shown that phonemic awareness is one of the best predictors of early reading success. Actually, phonemic awareness and alphabet recognition are the two main predictors of early reading success. So it's something very important, and it's something that we work on every day in kindergarten. We use a book by Michael Hegarty that has phonemic awareness activities that we do every morning. So one of the things that we work on is rhyming words. So I might give the students 3 words like bat, hat, dog, and they would have to tell me which 2 words rhyme. Or rub, sub, pan, and they would have to respond rub, sub, and they would tell me the 2 words that rhyme. So rhyming is a very important skill, and it is very important that students are able to recognize and hear words that rhyme in early reading. Another thing we do is listen for the beginning sounds in words. So I would say 2 words, dig, do, and the students would repeat those words. And then they would tell me the beginning sound of those 2 words, dig, do, and they would respond, duh. And then I would give them 2 more words, and they would repeat, kit, kite. And then they would say the beginning sound, which is k. So remember, they're not telling me the letter that the words begin with. They're only telling me what sound they hear at the beginning. So another thing we do is syllables. So we are listening for the syllables or the parts in a word and blending those syllables together. So we use what we call choppers. And so the students, I would demonstrate first, and then they would repeat what I do, and then we would blend those syllables together to say the word. So for example, I would say sister, and so the students would sister, and then we slide it sister and put those 2 syllables together and say the word. Another example, I would say recess, and the students would chop those syllables, recess, and then we slide it recess and put those together to say the whole word. So they are hearing those parts of a word and putting them together to say the word. So we're also listening for ending sounds in words, and we do this similar to the way we do the beginning sounds. I would say 2 words and emphasize the final sound in the word, like cub, cube, and the students would repeat those, cub, cube, and then they would say what sound they hear at the end of that word, b. And so they're not telling me what letter is at the end of the word. They're just telling me what sound they hear at the end of the word. Another one I would say wig, tug, and emphasize those ending sounds. And they would repeat the words wig, tug, and then they would respond. The ending sound is g. Also another exercise in listening for syllables and segmenting the syllables in the word. I would tell the student the whole word, like bracelet, and so then they would chop bracelet, and I would say, how many times did you chop? 2. Well, that word has 2 syllables. Or feather, and the students would chop it feather. How many times did you chop? 2. Well, that word has 2 syllables. So we could do more than 2 syllables. Like I would tell them October. So they would chop October. How many times did you chop? 3. That word has 3 syllables. We also work on substituting syllables and substituting parts of a word to make a new word. So we put our fists out like this, and we say, I would say melted, and they would say melted, and I would say change melt to twist, twisted, twisted. Okay, so they're taking off one of the parts of that word, substituting it with another word and making a new word. So like, and then I would say twisted, and we would say twisted, take off twist, change it to plant, planted, planted. Okay, and then we would continue on with that. We also will say a word and have the students add something to the end of that word, and we hold our hands out like this, and I would say dirt, I would say dirt, and add E to the end. What does that make? Dirty. Okay, say spook. Add E to the end. Put that together, it's spooky. Say cloud. I would say cloud. Now add E to the end. What word does that make? Cloudy. So they're hearing that these words are made out of different parts, and they're able to hear the parts, change the parts, make new words, add something to a word and make a new word. We also will take off part of a word to change the word. So we might say, hold two hands in front of us and say window. So the child would say window, and I would say window without O. What is that? Wind. Okay. Say yellow, and they would repeat yellow. Say yellow without O. That is yell. So that's deleting a syllable in a word. We also will say a sentence. I will say a sentence, and they will repeat the sentence, and we will count how many words are in that sentence. And that's a language awareness skill, which is also very important. So I might say, I love reading books. And so the students will repeat that, and when they repeat it, we will count on our fingers how many words are in that sentence. So if I say, I love reading books, and then they would say, I love reading books. How many words are in that sentence? 4. Is it raining outside today? And then they would repeat, is it raining outside today? So that's another very important skill in learning to read is building on that language awareness. One more thing that we really work on, and it helps with the rhyming, is nursery rhymes. And I know that's something you think that most children are familiar with, but really sometimes they're not. So just those nursery rhymes, reading those to students and having them listen for the words in the nursery rhyme that sound the same or that rhyme, and let them identify those. That is a great skill, something that you could do at home with your child. And you can Itsy Bitsy Spider, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Jack and Jill, all those nursery rhymes that we probably grew up saying. You can share those with your child and let them, you could say a line, they could repeat it. You could read the whole nursery rhyme together and have them listen for the words in that sound the same, that rhyme. And so these are some things that you can do at home, some things that you can work on that are great building blocks for children, for kindergartners, that will help them with building those strong reading skills and spelling, and not really worrying about the actual letter or the word, but what sounds they're hearing and hearing those rhyming words. And so I hope this has helped you a little bit and learn a little bit more about what we do in kindergarten and some things that you can do and to help your child at home. Thank you so much.